Hello my friends, Chris Mason here. Come with me as I'm about to make something. Alright, I'm in the garage. I had an idea, and now I'm looking for something. There's a snow speeder. What's left of a walker. One thing I'm looking for. I think this might be it. Okay. So there is my... That's my Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And this is what I was looking for. That's my, what's left of my X-Wing. That's an original X-Wing. So I was thinking that I might want to rebuild this, repaint it, and have something mounted on my desk. You know, favorite Star Wars ships, Millennium Falcon #1, X-Wing, and then the Blockade Runner. Those are my favorite from the original Star Wars. I've got a bag of parts here. I don't know if you can see. It is a bag of Star Wars parts. It looks like there's even another X-Wing in here. Sure what this is. There's another. Oh, you know what this is? This is one of those flying model rockets. But that's like the super light. There's where the rocket goes. Anyway, got all the parts here. And I'm going to try and clean this up. But that's the condition that it's in now. Hopefully I have all the parts. It's like some of the wing pieces are missing. And but I think I'm going to clean this up and do a complete repaint. R2-D2's missing out of there, so hopefully he's in here somewhere. Alright, so that's my bag of X-Wings. Alright, so I have returned from the garage and I brought my X-Wing parts here. Now I built these back whenever they came out, 77 or probably 78, I would imagine. And they hung in my room from the ceiling for years. In fact, my office now, this was my old bedroom, oddly enough. So it's strange all around. So this is the X-Wing flying model rocket, or what's left of it. So there's like the port where the rocket goes through. So it's super light. It's hollow. And the wings are balsa wood. As I said, I think I used... Well, I don't think. I know I used the wing parts for my Pinewood Derby, which I no longer have. But anyway, these are all the parts here. Let's go ahead and let's go through these. Let's see if everything's here. So there is... That's my original X-Wing model. You know what? It's in... I did a pretty good job on this, to be honest. The cockpit. And the wings, I think, open or lock open. Yeah, so there you go. It's yellowed over time. And I think that yellowing came from... I used a clear matte spray. It's hard to see on camera, but everything's turned yellow. And I think it's because of that spray. So let's go ahead. Let's see if I have the parts. So he's got the two left side engines and the right engines are missing. These are... Let's see all the parts. Okay, so these look like engines from the these are the flying model rocket engines, which go like this. So they're close to scale here, but these go with that. All right, so we're going to separate those. The cockpit windshield is gone. Here it is. So that's still here. Awesome. All right, there's one of the side engines. There's the other one. Nice, good, 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 good. And here are the wing laser cannons. So there's the two top ones are here. So the bottom ones are missing, and that's these guys. Nice, 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 nice. There's R2. He's tiny. God, I painted all that. So he'll fit right inside there. Perfect, perfect. All right, so the laser cannons are missing. So here's one with the ends missing. There's 2, 3. Oh, great. So all the parts are here. So everything's here. Landing gear? Did this have landing gear? I don't believe this had landing gear. I think these are the landing gear for the Vader ship. That's what I think those are. So here's a wing from the flying model rocket. Here's one of these little end pieces. All right, so that's this here, like so. There's a bat. There's another wing piece. Maybe this could be maybe we'll do a crashed one. Yeah, what's this? I don't know what that is. Looks like clear glass from some kind of cockpit. And let's go through the bag just to make sure there's nothing that I'm missing. Oh, there's the peg. That's the center peg from this guy, it looks like. All right. That's everything. Okay. So, looking at all the parts. So we've got the main body of the X-Wing, and everything seems to still work. It's just that the biggest issue is that it's yellowed after all these years of hanging in my old room. And yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a wash. I'd hate to, I really hate to, repaint this, but it's almost kind of begging for it, because if you look at the decals, I know it's hard to see, but the decals are nice and white while everything else is yellow. I love the design of the X-Wing. It's so cool. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I do want to fix it. And I'd love to have an X-Wing sitting on my desk somewhere with maybe like a little Death Star base that it sits on with the X-foils locked in attack position. There you go. So I think that, yeah, this is going to be a project, and I get a lot of requests to video my stuff. So this one, I think I'm going to, because I shot all this footage, I think I'm going to shoot this one. I'll chronicle this one. So anyway, this is my vintage 1970s X-Wing model kit rebuild. All right, so I've been thinking about this real hard, and my original model, my first thought was I'm gonna completely redo it and repaint it and make it look really cool. But then I'm thinking, this was my model that I built 1977 or 78 when it first came out. And I think the nostalgia of it, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put it back together. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I might do a little paint repair here and there. But I think for the most part, I'm going to leave it as is, as sort of a memento and a memory of what I built almost 50 years ago. It's crazy to think about it. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'll build a nice... I'm going to build a really cool base for it, though. And it'll be like a tabletop display. I'm going to leave him as is and just clean him up. Isopropyl alcohol, 70%. I've never used this to clean off old paint, so I just want to do a little I'm doing it on the bottom just in case. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make any difference. So the clear coat that I put on this years ago definitely holding its own. You can see the weathering that I did on this. Back in those days, I don't think I was using my airbrush. I had an airbrush, but this was charcoal that I would sand down to a powder and use dry brush, and then I would hit it with the clear coat, matte coat. So that's my old technique. Still a great technique though, by the way. All right. So it didn't take any of the paint off or any of the clear coat, but it did get all that dust and grime off. So that's great. So this is just plain water that I'm just going to hit a little bit with this. I don't think I'm going to try and pull Luke out of his cockpit because he looks like he's in there. Although, well, now that I look at it, the left side comes out. So maybe I'll, see, look, he's going to come out easy. That's that old model glue. And I don't know if this was in the days of, you know, when we had the non-toxic glue, which it could be. And that non-toxic glue didn't hold anything. There he goes. There's Luke out of the cockpit. Oh, that's great. So now I can do some detail on this and clean it up. But the paint on him is really good. I might gray the cockpit instead of making it black. But yeah, this will make clean and putting this back together really easy. All right, so I'm just going to hit this with some water and an old toothbrush just to get the dust and the grime off of it. This is actually a pretty nice paint job. All this grime inside this small details. There's a part of me that wants to redo the whole thing. That's just me. I love taking old things and making them new again, but the paint job on this is pretty, I gotta say, I did a good job. The thing that bothers me though is the model's pretty yellowed. That's the inside. So if you look at, that's the inside of the raw plastic. It's not a pure white, it's like a cream color, but you can see the difference. This is a darker yellowed, right? So that's the original color there, and this is it now. That's the only thing that bothers me, but there is something to be said about leaving it as is and just cleaning it up. That I'm going to have to think about. And cleaning this, I may lose these decals. You can see the discoloration there where the decal is preserved the color underneath. I'm glad I labeled these top and bottom because it's hard to tell. All right, let's do the bottom. Let's do one wing with just water, not using the isopropyl alcohol, just a little bit of water squirt here. Let's see how these decals hold up. Yeah, they're holding on. The spray coat that I put on it, the matte coat, seems to be holding everything in place, which is pretty amazing. I was a big model builder. I mean, you know, a big model builder now in my 60s, but you know, my aughts and my teens and my early 20s, I built a lot of models. It was after I got married and had kids and stuff that I kind of got out of it and didn't build as much anymore. So doing all this stuff now, these building models now really makes me happy. But building these back in the day, this was like the thing to do. I really loved doing it, and I still do. So working on these now brings back so many memories of building. And it's crazy that I, after all these years, I saved all these things. I have so many other models that I don't know what happened to them. I've moved, since I moved out of the house back in the early 90s on my own. A lot of these things went into storage. Some of them became props and models for some of my early films. Some of them I wish I still had, and I don't know what happened to a lot of them. I had all the Aurora models, all the monster kits, and the Boys at the Bottom of the Sea, Flying Sub, all the superhero kits. A lot of those I still have. Land of the Giants ship I had. All of the Battlestar Galactica models, the Vipers and the Cylons, had all those. I'm not a throwaway guy. I don't throw a lot of things away. I keep a lot of stuff. I'm just going to use I got some Q-tips here. I'm going to get inside the engines. So yeah, I would love to find some of those old kits that I built and fix them up. But, I only have so much room for a display. Sadly. All right, I think this is going to clean these up really nice. Look at that dirt. That's all just like dust, because these hung on the ceiling in my room for years, and I don't think I ever cleaned them off. All right, so these main parts are clean. All right, let's move all this stuff to one side. Let's see how Lukey's doing. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do much to this. I may do a little repaint on things here and there on Luke. I might add a little extra detail. Paint the cockpit a little different color. It's all black. All right. So the main parts are clean. I've got a bag of these other little parts. All right. Let's do some knurling here. This is a trick I learned from Adam Savage. You lay everything out in a nice orderly fashion. So we've got a broken one here, but I do have the tip, which is after how many years? 45 years? That little piece is still alive. In all the boxes and bags and travel since, that it's still here just boggles my mind. I'm just puzzled that I still have all these pieces. All right, the glass looks really good. All right. Let's see, good old R2. Let's give him a little squirt. Boy, I did a good job too on R2. All those little tiny, all the way down to his little side thing, all those little side details. And the fact that he sits inside the cockpit and he's, all you see is his head. And I did all that detail there. What was I thinking? Yeah, he's going to get a repaint. R2's going to get a repaint. Even though I did a pretty good job. I have some nice chrome paint that'll work really nice for that. The more I look at this, the more I want to repaint everything. But also, the nostalgia of it all makes me want to leave it as is and just put it back together. Yeah, I just don't like the yellow. So maybe there's a way of maintaining most of it and maybe painting, you know, because everything's, you know, like there's panels, maybe some panels I can do in white, like mask off a lot of it and hit it with some white. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really, I'm very torn. I have so many X-Wings here. I've got my 2-footer that I built a couple years back. I've got the 1-footer, the 18-incher that's hanging right over my head. I have a an old Kenner toy X-Wing from 78, 77, 78. And with broken, missing parts that I have as a project to redo. So I got a lot of X-Wings. All right, so here's all the parts now. I just gave them just a regular wash with just plain old water. All right, so here we go. Looking at these, at the parts here. All right, so that's it for today. But there is all of our parts. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to sit on this and think about it a little bit and see what to do. All right.